The Honourary Thorston by Concerned Brown Bread. Read by My Lost and Found. Chapter 4. Dragons Everywhere. Summary. Toothless makes an entrance, and probably realizes he should have made an exit too before Tuffnut came around to meet him. 1. Dragon training, but not like that.
Aw, does Hiccup have a little crush?
Ruffnut teased.
Huh? Crush? Who he crushin'?
Tuffnut looked around confused.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Did you see the sky today? Super blue. Maybe we should go jump off a cliff instead of talking about this. Astrid is pretty, isn't she?
Ruff pressed.
Could break you. Are you into that?
Tuffnut finally caught on.
Wait. Astrid is your crush nut? H, you could do better. There's literally one girl who's around our age,
Hiccup said.
And you, Ruff, but you're like my sister. Only like?
She asked, offended, advancing menacingly with her fist raised.
Wow, sucks you got stuck with that,
Tuffnut said in mock sympathy. Seeing the opportunity, Hiccup nodded.
Really does. I'm gonna kill you both.
Hiccup spent that afternoon being chased by Ruffnut through the village, for various reasons, because she seemed to forget very quickly what her motive was. As he ran, he spied the highest points in the village, his mind running through 1,000 scenarios. So he had a crush on Astrid. Big deal. More importantly, he needed to impress the village, soon. He was getting to the age where Dad would declare him heir, and if he kept being a runt forever, Dad might just pass him over for Snotlout. Or Ruffnut. Clearly Dad's favorite child. He needed to shoot down a dragon, and he knew exactly how.
I call it the Bola Launcher.
Hiccup grinned.
Pretty neat, right?
Tuffnut booed. Ruffnut shook her head.
What have I told you about naming things without us present?
Tuffnut booed louder. The Bola launcher was renamed the Epic Flaming War Machine that shot rock traps especially.
It doesn't flame,
Hiccup protested. Ruffnut grinned maniacally.
It should.
Tuffnut stood in front of the device with his arms open.
Hit me.
It worked.
It worked. Is, someone gonna get me out of here?
Tuffnut asked. Ruffnut had already left Dagmall. Hiccup was too busy scribbling down improvement notes.
The world's pretty nice from down here. Come on. Give me something to shoot at.
Hiccup prayed.
Give me something to shoot at.
He didn't pray to the gods he knew, but he hoped at least Loki would let up for once. Just once, any dragon would do. He knew it would work this time. He had tested it, improved it. Maybe he'd never be a Viking like Ruffnut or Tuffnut or Astrid or Snotlout or Dad, but he could do this. And finally, the world gave him a sign. The sky lit up with night fury fire. Hiccup tracked the shadow carefully, the dragon's silhouette only seen because of the smoke dancing in the sky. Wait for it, Hiccup thought. Wait for it. Now! The recoil jerked Hiccup back, but he ignored the pain shooting through him in order to scramble up and search the sky. A shriek cut through the air, clear and high. I hit it.
Oh, I hit it,
Hiccup said. Yes, I hit it! Did anybody see that? No one ever showed up when Hiccup was doing something right. Loki was back at it again, because someone did see it. A monstrous nightmare, to be precise. What resulted was really not Hiccup's fault. Mostly. Sorry, Dad, he said. And then, at Dad's anger, he added, Okay, but I hit a night fury. He could tell from that moment that Dad was absolutely done with him, grabbing him by the shirt and dragging him towards the house. But this time he hit it. A freaking night fury. And it was out there somewhere. Perhaps not dead, but good as. It's not like the last few times. Dad! Hiccup yelled, excited and apprehensive all at once. He gestured to the forest. I mean it. I actually hit it. You guys were busy and I had a very clear shot. It went down, just off Raven's Point. Let's get a search party out there before it... Stop! Stoic yelled, making Hiccup flinch. He let go of Hiccup's shirt, rubbing his face. Just stop. Every time you step outside, disaster follows. Can you not see I've bigger problems? Winter is almost here, and I have an entire village to feed. Irritation flared in his chest. Between you and me, the village could do with a little less feeding, don't you think? He winced, because even he knew that was a little far. Winter without food was no laughing matter. This isn't a joke, Hiccup. Why can't you follow the simplest orders? Stoic shook his head, gesturing to the twins and Gobber. Get him back to the house. I have his mess to clean. You trust the twins over me? Hiccup asked, humiliated. At least they know what they're supposed to do, Stoic roared back. Hiccup watched the man walk away, gaping. We really are his favorite children, Tuffnut hummed. Come on, you. March. Hiccup glared. He just likes spoiling you. He hates you more than the twins, Snotlout mocked. Your own father. How does it feel? Shut it, the three of them said in unison. Once they got to the house, Gobber glared at the three of them and told them not to get into trouble before leaving. Trouble? Us? Never, Tuffnut said. So, what's this about a night fury? Ruffnut asked. Hiccup grinned at them. Raven's Point. That's where it went. I'm sure of it. Are you sure you're sure? Ruffnut asked. Yes, Hiccup yelled, frustrated. It has to be around here somewhere. Some people lose their knives, Ruffnut began. Or their mugs. Or their heads. Cousin Lars lost his head. Or their head, Tuffnut finished. But you lost a whole dragon. Yes, the gods hate me. We've established this, Hiccup said dryly. Anything else you would like to say? Want to trample on my self-esteem a little more? But Hiccup, how do we trample on something that isn't there? Ruffnut grinned and high-fived Tuffnut without looking. I hate teaching you to be like this, Hiccup mumbled. Go back to being dumb. Will do, she said happily. Come on, Tuff. Let's go see if there's any destruction that needs breaking. Hiccup watched them walk away, having half a mind to join them. But he knew he'd done it this time, even if the twins didn't believe him. He just needed to look harder. But where could it have gone? He hit a branch in frustration, and, with his luck, the branch hit right back. Grumbling, he looked up. The branch had been broken on impact, and something big had dragged a trench through the mud. Hiccup had found it.
Hiccup had found it,
and he had let it go. He had let it go. The twins were going to have a field day with this, if he ever even told them. Dragon training, Dad said. You start tomorrow. Hiccup's day just kept getting better, really. Thank Loki. Thank him so much. Hiccup would make sure to offer him yak dung next time. I hope I get some serious burns, Tuffnut exclaimed. Ruffnut grinned. I'm hoping for some maulin', like on my shoulder or lower back. Astrid rolled her shoulders, assessing the arena coolly. Yeah, it's only fun if you get a scar out of it. Hiccup decided it was time to make his presence known.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Hiccup drawled.
Pain. Love it.
Chief Dad let you into dragon training? Tuffnut asked, incredulous. What did you have to offer up to the gods for that? Your heart? Your lungs? Your eyes? Your leg? Your dick? Let's get started, Gobber interrupted, cutting Ruffnut off. The recruit who does the best will win the honor of killing his first dragon in front of the entire village. Hiccup already killed a Night Fury, so does that disqualify him, or? Snotlout laughed.
You're hilarious, Snotlout. Consider comedy as an occupation.
Hiccup sniped back. I'll consider your face.
Charming,
Hiccup drawled. This was going to be fine. Not fine, very not fine, Hiccup's mind screamed as he ran, scrambling for his shield. The Gronkle gave chase, absolutely nullifying Gobber's previous reassurances of, You're small, they won't come after you. Hiccup! He heard Ruffnut's worried yell. Hiccup backed up against the wall, shield forgotten and mind blank. This was not how he wanted to die, staring down the mouth of a Gronkle gearing up to fire. Gobber's hand hooked into the Gronkle's teeth, pulling it away. It was only then that Hiccup felt he could breathe. Are you okay? Tuffnut asked, on his knees beside Hiccup. Course he's okay, Ruffnut said, knocking them both on their heads. He's survived worse. And he's going to need to keep surviving worse, Gobber grumbled. Remember, a dragon will always go for the kill. So why didn't the Night Fury? When Hiccup and the Night Fury's eyes meet the second time, he could feel electricity run through his veins. There's something about it, him, that called to Hiccup, mysterious and alien and going against everything Hiccup had ever known. It was like staring into the ocean, the sheer depth enough to lure and drown Hiccup. Like looking into still waters, only to find yourself looking back. Gobber handed them the dragon manual that night, with strict instructions to read it. Read? Tuffnut asked, grossed out. What are we, Hiccup? Thanks, Tuff, Hiccup murmured. I wonder what it has on the Night Fury. Did you actually find it? Hiccup flinched, looking up at his brother. No. From across the table, Ruffnut narrowed her eyes. She was about to say something when Astrid left the table, Snotlout and Fishlegs following. Ruffnut made a move to follow them. See you later. Hiccup grunted. Oh, hey, Tuffnut said, as he got up as well. Since your dad's not here, mind if we crash at your place? Not like our parents will notice. You know you can do that whenever, right? Thanks, Bronut. Hiccup waved, turning back to the book and flipping through its pages. Thunder boomed outside, as though even the sky knew the danger of the beasts. And yet...
"Sleepover!"
yelled a voice. "Sleepover!" echoed another.
"Go to sleep,"
ordered the last. The last voice was very much not heeded. There was a knock on his door. "My house is too small," Gobber said. "You don't mind, do you?"
"How can your house be too small?"
Hiccup asked.
"You've literally never complained about that before."
"You'd know about complaining, wouldn't you?" Ruffnut whooped. Tuffnut said, "There's my man."
"It's like you all live to bully me."
Hiccup huffed.
"Some family you are."
Because really, sometimes a family was your adopted siblings and a Gobber. And Dad. But Hiccup didn't want to think about him right now. And a dragon. But Hiccup really didn't want to think about that. Ever. Hiccup messes up. Bad. "Is this some kind of joke to you?" Astrid yelled. "Our parents' war is about to become ours. Figure out what side you're on." She stomped off, rightfully mad. Hiccup watched her go, feeling his heart falling. He really did want to impress her. "She's so badass," Ruffnut sighed. Hiccup shot her a look. "What? You were right. Everyone has a crush on her." Tuffnut enthusiastically waved a hand in the air. "I don't."
"No one cares,"
Ruffnut groaned. "No one cares about you." "No, you." "No, you." Hiccup watched them wrestle with a sigh. The Night Fury might have thrown his whole world off balance, but some things never change.
"Toothless? I could have sworn you had."
Sharp teeth snatched the fish right out of Hiccup's hand. And so the mystery thickened. Toothless. It was a good name. He was kind of cute. Terrifying, but cute. While the twins slept, completely hogging Hiccup's bed with absolutely no regard for Hiccup's well-being, those little mutton heads, Hiccup got to work. Attaching a tail fin to a dragon was hard work. Flying said dragon, though, it was harder. But it was easier, too, in so many ways. "Pair up," Gobber ordered. Ruffnut grabbed Hiccup, wrapping her arm around his shoulder. "Dibs." Astrid slinked closer to Fish Legs, without actually saying anything. As if on her silent command, Snotlout and Tuffnut paired up.
Why?"
Hiccup began. The arena began filling with gas. "Today is about teamwork," Gobber lectured. "Now, a wet dragon can't light its head. The hideous Zippleback is extra tricky. One head breathes gas, the other head lights it. It's your job to know which is which." Hiccup readied his bucket. "Something is up with you," Ruffnut said, voice hushed.
"What? I have no idea what you're talking about."
"Your stutter gets worse when you lie, which means you're a terrible liar. You liar." Ruffnut glared. "And also, you think you can keep things from us? We made you, disciple of Loki."
"That's, I never agreed to being a disciple of."
"So where is it?" Ruffnut asked, eyes narrowed as she leaned forward.
"Where is what?"
"Your shrine you dedicated to Loki?" Ruffnut grinned. "Clearly, you sacrificed something to let your dad get you into dragon training." Hiccup laughed nervously.
Yes, that's it."
But the glint in Ruffnut's eyes told him she already suspected what he was up to. Dragon training was going great.
And it's all thanks to you, bud,
Hiccup said, gently running a hand on the dragon's scale. Finally, the village recognized him. His smile fell. But what did they see? Everything we know about them is wrong. The thought reverberated around his head as they glided gently back into the cove. He could still feel the phantom warmth of the terrible terror that had trusted him so easily. He had always wanted to change the world, to have Berk and Dad and everyone look at him and praise him. He had wanted respect. But this world that he had found out about, where the sea was the sky and the clouds were something he could reach out to touch, this was not a world that Berk would ever accept. And should he make them accept? This cove, this dragon, this was the first time Hiccup had ever felt free. Even with the twins, no one had ever understood him like Toothless did. Could he stay here forever? A place carved out in the world just for him? Oh my gods! Toothless growled suddenly, and something sounded behind Hiccup. He whirled around, ready to defend his home. Oh my gods! Ruffnut repeated, a look of pure bliss in her eyes. We were right. You are a disciple of Loki. Tuffnut stepped forward, arms spread wide as if ready to embrace something. He had a similar dreamy look on his face. The gods hath spoken. Behind him, Toothless growled. And like that, the little world Hiccup had created shattered. The twins had a tendency to do that. 2. Dragon meet chaos and confusion. Hiccup, Ruffnut said, a bit of caution finally seeping into her eyes. Is that a night fury?
Yes, it would seem it is.
Hiccup held out a hand to Toothless, keeping his eyes trained on the twins, who were carrying their weapons with them. Toothless sniffed his hand, taking the signal to stand down, for now. Hiccup hysterically wondered if he held out his hand to the twins, they'd do the same. Okay, Tuffnut said. This is officially the craziest thing I've ever seen. Wait, no, second craziest. There was that. Tuffnut tended to ramble when he was nervous. Ruffnut, on the other hand, tended to fight, which was exactly what she seemed to be gearing up to do.
I know I have a lot of explaining to do,
Hiccup interrupted.
How about you put your weapons down for now?
Are you insane? Never mind. This really is the craziest thing. Hiccup let out a breath slowly, then turned to Toothless, who was far more likely to listen.
Hey, bud, why don't you go to the other side of the cove for now? I need to talk to my friends.
He wasn't sure how much the dragon could understand, but Hiccup's nervous gestures seemed to be enough. Toothless skidded over the little lake and took up his usual place, circling it with fire before settling down. The twins watched him with matching looks of awe and confusion. Okay, Ruffnut said, still clutching her weapon like a lifeline. Explain? And it better be good, or I'm telling your dad. And you know he'll listen to her, Tuffnut piped in. Favorite child, Hiccup sighed.
Okay, it's a long story, but remember when I said I shot down a night fury? And so I decided to take him flying.
Hiccup, why? Fourth craziest thing.
So me and Toothless
and I, Tuffnut corrected. Toothless? Ruffnut yelled, making the dragon look up. Oh, not you, dragon. I'm talking Hicknut. Toothless. Hiccup. Really?
Yes?
What have I told you about naming things without us present? Tuffnut booed.
And it was incredible, guys.
Hiccup whooped a laugh.
You have to see it to believe it.
Then his eyes lit up. Would Toothless allow it if he asked nicely? He could see the twins thinking along the same lines, turning to each other and carrying a silent conversation.
He might let you touch him,
Hiccup offered.
but you need to get rid of those weapons.
Tuffnut didn't seem to have a problem with it, but stopped when Ruffnut didn't make a move to do so as Hiccup said. She wrung her hands around the handle of her mace, looking to where Toothless sat.
Ruff,
Hiccup coaxed.
it's fine. I'm gonna protect you both.
Ruffnut rolled her eyes.
It's Tuff that needs protecting.
That is true. Tuffnut grinned. Ruffnut dropped her mace, and Tuffnut followed eagerly. They looked at Hiccup. Okay, now it was all up to Toothless. He had been skeptical of Hiccup at first, so it would be fine if it took some time, as long as they were patient. Oh my god, you're adorable.
Tuffnut, no!
But Tuffnut had already charged at Toothless, who whined his confusion. The boy wrapped his hand around one of Toothless's paws, which had been raised in a half-hearted attempt to protect the dragon. Tuffnut didn't seem to mind at all, rubbing his face on Toothless's leg.
Oh, wow. So scaly.
Tuffnut looked up at Toothless with wide eyes.
You're not gonna kill me, right?
Toothless looked at Hiccup, completely lost. Hiccup felt a laugh bubble out of him as Ruffnut groaned. That was one way to do it.
Sorry about him, Toothless,
Hiccup said gently, as the dragon dropped his front legs with Tuffnut still attached to them.
This is Tuffnut.
Can we call him Toothnut?
No.
Hiccup snapped.
Also, get off of him. You're bothering him.
Tuffnut got up, still very close to Toothless, who was looking at him more curiously now. Hiccup gestured at Ruffnut to come forward.
And this is Ruffnut,
Hiccup introduced.
They are my friends. They want to be yours, too.
Toothless looked at him, comprehension dawning. Still, he made no move to touch them. The twins would have to meet him halfway.
Here,
Hiccup said, taking Ruffnut's hand.
Hold your hand out like this.
He did the same with Tuffnut, using his own hand to spread the other boy's fingers. Toothless watched as they inched closer, arms outstretched, but not touching him. After a moment of hesitation, Toothless pressed his head against their palms.
Wow,
Ruffnut breathed.
Yeah,
Tuffnut echoed.
Wow. So, when can we fly him?
Toothless grumbled, which Hiccup translated as,
sometime between never and not any time soon.
Tuffnut spent most days after that chasing around Toothless's tail, and, on occasion, Toothless himself. The dragons seemed to realize it was a game, and that the boy twin was not dangerous, and had fun running around. Ruffnut was still cautious, watching from the sides and occasionally egging the dragon on.
You know, if anyone finds out, you're gonna have to kill it, right?
Ruffnut asked.
Him,
Hiccup corrected.
And no one will find out,
Tuffnut said, joining them. Toothless nudged Tuffnut's back before coming to settle beside Hiccup. Subconsciously, Hiccup reached out to run his finger alongside the dragon's scales, exactly where he knew Toothless liked it.
No one will ever find out,
Ruffnut echoed.
Not from us, anyway.
Hiccup held out his pinkies, and they wrapped theirs around his. A promise that wouldn't be broken. Another secret for them to keep. It was exhilarating. Hiccup rolled his charcoal pencil on his workbench, Ruffnut's words eating at him. Eventually, someone would find out. Or, eventually, Hiccup would have to kill a dragon. Whichever came first, he needed to figure out what to do.
Chief Nut!
Hiccup heard Tuffnut yell from outside Hiccup's workshop.
You here for Ruffnut?
Why would I come into Gobber's shop looking for her?
Because she's your favorite.
Hiccup grinned. Thank gods for Tuffnut. If Dad had come in and seen his dragon tail designs, he'd be doomed. He left his workshop, masking his smile with a look of sternness. He needed to be more Viking for Dad. No more childish grinning.
Hicknut, what are you doing with your face?
Tuffnut asked. Hiccup sighed, ignoring him, and turned to Dad.
Hey, Dad. Welcome back. Gobber's not here, so...
I know. I came looking for you. Hiccup's eyebrows shot up.
You did?
You've been keeping secrets. Hiccup exchanged a worried look with Tuffnut, panicking.
I have?
Stoic's voice dropped an octave. Just how long did you think you could hide it from me? Tuffnut quickly stepped in, wrapping an arm around Hiccup's small shoulders.
Just so we're clear, what are we talking about?
You really had me going there, son. All those years of the worst Viking Berk has ever seen. Odin, it was rough. I almost gave up on you. All the while, you were holding out on me. At Hiccup's incomprehension, Stoic prompted, The dragon training, son.
Oh. Yeah, that.
Tuffnut heaved a sigh.
Oh, thank Thor. I thought...
Hiccup stepped on his feet.
Ow! Why? I'm gonna go find Ruffnut.
I'm going to go also.
Hiccup tried, but Stoic grabbed him by the back of his tunic. I have something to give you, Dad said, looking brighter and happier than Hiccup had ever seen him. To keep you safe in the ring. He held up a helmet. Your mother would have wanted you to have it. It's half her breastplate. He knocked on his own helmet. Matching set. Keep her close, you know. Hiccup felt something in his chest wrench at that. His dad was proud of him, for the first time in forever. His dad was proud of something he was not. And maybe, Hiccup realized then, his dad would never be proud of who he was. 3. Big Dragon, Little Dragon.
Oh, wow,
Tuffnut said, as if he couldn't help but make a jab at Astrid.
He's better at it than you ever were.
Astrid growled at him, charging back into the arena. Tuffnut grinned, knowing Hiccup would probably win anyway with his voodoo dragon magic. After all, only Hicknut could tame a dragon. And ride one. Not fair that Toothless wouldn't let Tuffnut on his back, no matter how much he pleaded. He was just as crazy, if not crazier, than Hiccup. As predicted, Hiccup won. Tuffnut wondered if Toothless liked chicken, and if he should get the dragon some of that for dinner. Did dragons eat humans? Also cool, he could feed Toothless Snotlout. Wait, no. No one should be subjected to that. The Elder has decided, Stoic Dad roared. Tuffnut jerked up and realized he had missed something very important. Beside him, Ruffnut sighed.
Figures. Crazy's got himself into trouble again. Confusion.
Tuffnut perked up at the nickname.
Then let's get him into even more trouble, Chaos.
Unfortunately, Hiccup was not in the cove when the twins got there. Tuffnut looked around and confirmed that, indeed, there was no large dragon or very small boy in the cove.
Where do you think he went?
Ruffnut asked.
Up?
Ruffnut nodded. They probably went flying. Again, so unfair. They waited around, poking each other with sticks and taking turns pushing each other into the lake. At some point, Tuffnut found himself with a makeshift bludgeon chasing Ruffnut around, though he wouldn't be able to quite recount how they got to that point. There was the sound of wings beating and a massive creature landing. Tuffnut lit up.
Toothnut!
We never agreed on that name,
Hiccup yelled. Ruffnut scoffed and stage whispered.
He'll come around.
He almost always did. When they'd first been friends, Tuffnut had been more interested in watching the absolute disaster that Hiccup was than actually being friends. Somewhere along the line, though, he realized that Hiccup actually cared about them. It was only normal to reciprocate. Dadnut and Toothnut were bonuses. Bonus-i? No, bonuses. Tuffnut realized belatedly that someone was riding with Hiccup.
Astrid?
Ruffnut yelped. Astrid slid off the dragon and looked at the two of them, then back at Hiccup. I'm guessing they know.
Can't keep anything from them,
Hiccup shrugged.
Damn right you can't,
Ruffnut yelled. Tuffnut had more pressing concerns to discuss.
Are you serious? She got to ride the dragon, but we don't?
He stomped up to Toothless, who gave him a flat look. He was spending too much time with Hiccup.
You, mister, are in big trouble. Absolute traitor, you...
Tuffnut, calm down,
Hiccup said, rubbing his arm sheepishly.
I'm sorry, but we didn't have a choice. Astrid was going to tell Berk about Toothless, so I decided to show her why she couldn't.
And?
Ruffnut asked, holding Astrid's axe to Astrid's neck.
Are you gonna tell?
Astrid kicked Ruffnut's shins and swiftly stole her axe back. Maybe. Then she proceeded to ignore the twins. How rude. Hiccup, what we just saw there, it totally makes sense. It's like a giant beehive. They're the workers, and that's their queen. It controls them. Let's find your dad.
Traitor,
Ruffnut hissed.
Tough? Kill time. Finally!
Toothless stood in their way, looking all too used to their antics. Not good, Tuffnut thought, sharing a look with his sister. They would need to up their unpredictability game.
Wait,
Ruffnut said, her mind catching up.
You guys saw the nest?
What nest? Tuffnut asked.
A bird nest?
Oh. We can't tell Dad, Hiccup said, looking at all of them. They'll kill Toothless. We need to think this through. Hiccup, we just discovered the dragon's nest, Astrid yelled. The thing we've been after since Vikings first sailed here. And you want to keep it a secret? To protect your pet dragon? Are you serious? Tuffnut growled at her. He's more than just a pet. No offense, Astrid, but you have no idea how epic Toothless is. Ruffnut snapped. Hiccup's eyes steeled. His jaw set. Yes. Astrid looked at the three of them in disbelief, but when her eyes found Toothless, they softened into something akin to understanding. Okay, she breathed. Then what are we going to do? It was abundantly clear she wasn't talking to the twins or Toothless anymore. Again, how rude. Just give me until tomorrow. I'll figure something out. Astrid nodded. She punched Hiccup. That's for kidnapping me. Then she kissed him on the cheek. That's for everything else. Ruffnut gagged, watching her walk away.
I'm so over her.
She gave Hiccup a sly glance, to which Hiccup blushed, stuttering out.
What are you looking at?
Someone's got a crush.
Tuffnut shook his head, slinking into the space beside Toothless.
Vikings, am I right? What do you say you and I leave these morons behind? Give me a lift, bud?
Toothless smacked Tuffnut with his tail. How rude. Hiccup's attempt to tame the monstrous nightmare was monstrously nightmarish. Astrid watched Hiccup for a moment, the twins beside her seemingly at loss for what to say, which was a rarity for them. It was a testament to how awful the situation was. She sighed. Hiccup had given her the sky. She wasn't allowing him to give up here. She stepped forward and said, "It's a mess. You must feel horrible. You lost everything. Your father, your tribe, your best friend."
Thank you for summing that up,
he said sarcastically. At Astrid's unimpressed look, he realized sarcasm wasn't going to work with her.
Why couldn't I have killed the dragon when I found him in the woods? It would have been better for everyone.
Astrid looked out over the sea, where the ships had disappeared. Yep, the rest of us would have done it. She turned to Hiccup. So, why didn't you?
I don't know. I couldn't.
That's not an answer.
Why is this important to you all of a sudden?
You gave me the sky. I want to know why. Astrid took a deep breath. Because I want to remember what you say, right now.
Oh, for the love of... I was a coward. I was weak. I wouldn't kill a dragon.
Astrid peeked up. You said wouldn't that time.
Whatever. I wouldn't. 300 years and I'm the first Viking who wouldn't kill a dragon.
Astrid smiled, something in her softening. She had never been soft, but for Hiccup, well, maybe she could be, just this one time. First one to ride one, though. His eyes widened. When Hiccup went silent, she prompted, "So?" Realization dawned in his eyes, like light reflecting off still waters.
I wouldn't kill him because he looked just as frightened as I was. I looked at him and I saw myself.
I bet he's real frightened now. She scrutinized the boy next to her. He loved that dragon more than anything, didn't he? What are you going to do about it?
Probably something stupid.
Astrid grinned. Good, but you already did that. Hiccup looked past her at the twins, who were leaning against the rock, watching them. Ruffnut grinned. Tuffnut waved. Astrid really didn't know what Hiccup saw in them, but he must see something she didn't, because the next thing he said was,
"Then I'm gonna do something crazy."
He ran, and Astrid watched him go, almost fond. She had never really liked Hiccup up until the Night Fury, up until Toothless. She had never really seen him until now. That was him, the boy who had changed their history, written by generations. The boy who had shown her true freedom, where the world turned upside down, where the sky became the sea and clouds were soft to touch.
Wow, he never gets out of his little moods this quick.
Ruffnut said, jerking Astrid out of her thoughts.
Nice going.
Astrid looked at them, wondering if maybe she was seeing them for the first time too, just as she had seen Hiccup. Thanks.
We should follow him before he does something crazy stupid.
Ruffnut grinned.
Without us, that is.
Astrid smiled back. It was like they were having a moment, an understanding between them for someone they cared about.
Hey, so, if she's part of the family, what do we call her?
Tuffnut asked suddenly.
Not Crushnut anymore. That's for sure,
Ruffnut said.
Nah. Tuffnut squinted. Hoffnut? Tridnut. Oh, no, I got it.
His eyes lit up.
Assnut.
Moment over. Astrid hit them both on the head and walked away.
Finally,
Ruffnut thought, giddy with excitement.
Finally, we get to fly.
Ruffnut and Tuffnut shared a zippleback, affectionately named Barf and Belch. The dragon's kinda cool, all teeth and growls, and just smart enough for Ruffnut to absolutely understand what they were going on about. Or maybe the twins were just smart enough that the dragons knew what they were going on about. Currently, the heads were nipping at each other, much to Tuffnut and Ruffnut's enjoyment.
Can you not jostle me so much?
Hiccup asked from behind her.
Is Hicknut getting airsick?
Tuffnut teased.
I thought you were a great dragon rider.
Hiccup stuck his tongue out at him.
Keep going and you're never getting to ride Toothless.
Don't need to,
Ruffnut yelled back.
We've got the best dragon ever.
Barf and Belch roared in unison at the praise. Hiccup huffed a laugh, the sound carried away by the winds. Ruffnut had been surprised when Hiccup had chosen to ride with her. She had thought he'd go with Astrid, but Crushnut had no sway over Sibling Nut, it would seem.
There,
Hiccup yelled as the fog cleared. Ruffnut gasped. The thing was larger than anything she'd ever seen.
This,
she began,
is,
Tuffnut continued.
Awesome.
They finished together. Hiccup whooped, then from behind her yelled,
Everyone, fire!
The dragons did so with a light nudging. Hiccup assessed the situation, then continued to take the lead. He had always been good at that.
Okay, lout, legs, hang in its blind spot. Make some noise. Keep it confused. Astrid, find out if it has a shot limit. Bring the chaos.
Tuffnut and Ruffnut glared at him. Ruffnut as much as she could, craning her neck to look at the boy behind him.
That's our specialty,
they told him in unison.
I know, but I need you to do something else. We need to find Toothless.
Barf and Belch dove into the fire, towards the direction Hiccup indicated. They dropped Hiccup off on the boat where Toothless was trapped.
He won't be able to break all that on his own,
Tuffnut told her.
Noodle arms and all.
Ruffnut and her brother probably wouldn't be able to either. She grinned and nudged Barf and Belch towards the Vikings.
Zippleback incoming,
someone yelled, causing people to duck. Ruffnut could get used to this power. They made it to the front of the crowd, Ruffnut shouting,
Dad!
The Thorston elder turned to look at them, making Tuffnut wince, because for some reason, Tuffnut still cared about their so-called father. Ruffnut ignored the man and turned to her real dad, getting the dragon under them to roar till Stoic looked up.
Hiccup needs help. He's that way,
Tuffnut yelled down. Stoic eyed the dragon and growled.
He needs help with the dragon. What makes you think? For Loki's sake, man,
Ruffnut shouted.
For once, listen to your children and go. Hicknut might die.
Ruffnut grinned from her dragon, watching Stoic's face go red. Then, Stoic rubbed his face in frustration, very usual when in the presence of the twins.
You're lucky you're my favorite.
Stoic growled up at her.
Oh, yes.
Ruffnut could get used to this much power. Tuffnut snorted.
He's only saying that, you know. Yeah.
Ruffnut waved him away.
We all know Hiccup's his favorite.
She grinned at her brother.
He's my favorite, too. Oh, good. I wouldn't want to be your favorite ever. What's that supposed to mean?
They argued all the way to the Red Death, very much confusing the big dragon and leaving chaos in their wake. Back on Toothless, Hiccup felt alive.
I'm proud to call you my son.
Flying in front of the Red Death, Hiccup's mind ran its paces, figuring out what to do. Down in the crowd, he spotted Wolffang's horrified face and got an idea. Hiccup charged straight at the beast as she opened her mouth to get ready to fire. But she was big and slow, and the moment Hiccup was close enough, he yelled at Toothless to dive. The dragon's underbelly was unprotected and soft, making it roar as Toothless's shots made contact. Hiccup aimed for the wings. All right, bud, Hiccup said, as the Red Death was sufficiently enraged. Now we climb up. It was an echo from his childhood, the first time he and the twins had hung out. Back then, that was all Hiccup had known, the cliff and the sea and the sunset. But now, the world felt so much bigger. Now with Toothless, he felt so much bigger. The Vikings were watching him, awe and terror and confusion. Finally, they were seeing him for who he was, not reeling back in disgust or sneering with malice. Because this was it, wasn't it? This was him. This was them. Toothless and Hiccup climbed upwards, the sky at their fingertips. The Red Death fell. Hiccup and Toothless fell with it. Stoic the Vast wasn't feeling very vast or stoic as he sat by his son's bed. The dragon had taken up its place in the corner of the house, watching Stoic with open hostility and nudging Hiccup very lightly from time to time. The twins had taken up place everywhere in the house, scuttling from one place to another like skittish sheep.
Will you two stop?
Stoic roared. The twins' dragon poked its head through the window, more obedient than the twins themselves. Stoic waved it away, mildly apologetic. He didn't mean to yell at them.
Sorry,
Ruffnut said.
I'm bored.
Then go outside,
Stoic ordered.
Hiccup needs his rest.
Tuffnut scurried over, sitting in the space on Hiccup's bed that he had pretty much claimed since he was just a boy. They were still just children. Stoic's children. And that they rode dragons, that they ended a war, didn't seem to matter when they were still so small.
He's gonna be all right, right?
Tuffnut asked for the umpteenth time. He was more persistent than even Hiccup. If Stoic had to choose, everyone would be wrong in his assumption for who his favorite child was. Hiccup was a lick too clever, with a penchant for trouble. Ruffnut was brave but utterly foolish. Tuffnut, on the other hand? But he would never choose. Clever and curious and caring. How could Stoic not love them? Valka would stay the same. Not that he was ever letting these kids know. Ruffnut would tease him. Tuffnut would cry. Hiccup would say something sarcastic. They had no respect for him.
He'll be fine,
Ruffnut said, punching her brother's shoulder.
He's Hiccup.
Tuffnut punched her back, and they began chasing each other around. Stoic roared,
Outside.
Gobber burst through the door, making Stoic heave a sigh.
Wow, you're having quite the day, huh?
Surrounded by two dragons, the twins, and now Gobber, Stoic could only bury his face in his hands.
How's he doing?
Breathing.
Stoic said grimly.
But he's a survivor.
He always had been.
Hey, Dad, can I borrow your axe?
Absolutely not.
They really don't seem to respect you, do they?
Toothless laughed at him. Stoic wondered what his life had become. Hiccup woke up with the dragon nudging his chest, a girl sleeping on his stomach, and a boy leaning against his shoulder.
Toothless?
He hissed.
You can't be here.
He shifted and realized something was very wrong. Hiccup woke up without a leg, a dragon helping him to the door, and his friends trailing behind shouting, well-meaning but headache-inducing questions and facts.
You lost your leg, by the way,
Ruffnut said.
Yes, I can see that.
Do you think you could try to make that peg into a sword?
Tuffnut asked.
I might try.
They finally got to the door, and Hiccup heaved it open.
Oh, wow,
he breathed.
Epic, huh?
Tuffnut elbowed him lightly.
It was all my doing. What? It was me?
Ruffnut yelled.
No, me. No, me.
No. If you two start up again, I'm throwing you in a well.
Stoic yelled.
Gobber.
Gobber hooked his arm through their tunics at the same time and dragged them away. Dad turned to smile at Hiccup, seeming unbothered by Toothless. Still, Hiccup tried to use his small body to hide the dragon.
Am I dead?
He ventured. Dad laughed, lighter and freer than ever before.
No, but you gave it your best shot.
They looked at the village together.
Turns out, all we needed was a little more of this.
Hiccup stared at his dad's large hand and grinned.
You just gestured to all of me. That leg was my handiwork,
Gobber said, as the twins struggled to get off his hook.
With a little hiccupy flair. You like it? I'll probably make some tweaks.
The crowd gathered around him laughed, which was so weird. People weren't supposed to laugh at his jokes.
I think I need some rest and time to process,
Hiccup said.
Of course, son.
Gobber and Dad made sure he got back into the house, fretting all the way. Hiccup made sure that they were distracted before turning around towards the back door to leave. Really, one would think Dad and Gobber figured this out by now. Gleefully, Hiccup grabbed his secret notebook from the floorboard under his bed and let Toothless lead him towards the door. Toothless was all too excited for the next adventure. Outside, the twins were hanging upside down from barf and belch. When they saw Hiccup, they jumped down.
Hey, Upnut,
Tuffnut greeted.
Hey, guys.
Hiccup grinned back.
Want to see a cool place Toothless and I discovered?
Ruffnut whooped.
Hell yes.
Race you to Raven's Point, then.
Sometimes, Hiccup figured, family was the strange mishmash of Gobber, Dad, his adopted siblings, and his beloved dragon. He wouldn't have it any other way. And that is finally the end of this. And I say it like that because, well, if you're listening to this when it comes out, you may have noticed that I kind of disappeared off the face of the earth for 2, 3 months, 4 months, more? I don't even know at this point. Anyway, I'm back, and so happy to finally finish this amazing fic. I am so sorry I left it on a cliffhanger for so long. I really love it. It's got the family feels, it's got the found family feels, it's got the reconciling with a prior than found family feels. It's got all the feels, and I love it. And the twins are so underappreciated. They murder my voice. Ruffnut specifically murders my voice, but I will forgive her. And Tuffnut's voice is just so hard to nail. I will also forgive him because they are amazing. They need more appreciation. Yes. Anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed my first How to Train Your Dragon podfic. I hold such a special place in my heart for this series and just all of it. So it's just really nice to find a fic that I enjoy so much and be able to podfic it and share it with you all. And a million kudos towards the author. If you guys liked the fic, make sure to go into the description and give the original a kudos, comment, whatever you can. Anyways, I'm gonna go rest my voice, and I will see you all next time.